everyone. My clock is reading 11:30, so I'm going to go ahead and get started. My name is Summer. I am the ProcessMaker training lead, and I'm going to be presenting this webinar about database integrations between ProcessMaker and an Oracle database with Pablo Barroso, who's going to show us a demo in a few short minutes. So before we get started with the demo, first I'm going to explain ProcessMaker to any of you newbies in the audience who do not know what ProcessMaker is. Then I'm going to follow that with a short introduction to ProcessMaker's database connections. Then after that, I'm going to give you a brief summary of what we're going to do in the demo today. And then after that, we can go ahead and get started with Pablo, who's going to demonstrate how to connect an Oracle database with ProcessMaker. So now let me begin with the introduction to ProcessMaker. So ProcessMaker features an intuitive drag and drop interface. To design a process map in minutes, all you need to do is drag and drop process elements from the Shapes toolbar onto the process map. So to design a process with our drag and drop designer, you don't need that much knowledge of code to design a complex process map. ProcessMaker also features dynamic forms that can be constructed for any purpose and can be accessed by end users through a URL. Our dynamic forms can also be viewed on any screen, like you can see in the image on the being displayed right now. And then once you have run a few processes, managers can customize reports using our data reporting tools. So like you can see on the screen, our data reporting tools can be used with process data from the database or a report table to construct these beautiful charts in just a few minutes as well. And then once you've reported on your processes using our data reporting tools or our KPI dashboard, you can go ahead and optimize your processes by eliminating any bottlenecks and inefficiencies you discover through our reporting tools, and then just immediately go back to our process map, make improvements, and then view the results of those improvements using the reports. So in this way, you can continuously improve your processes by using our process management software. So that concludes my brief introduction of ProcessMaker. So let's go ahead and move on to the meat of our webinar. So first of all, ProcessMaker supports connections to 4 databases. MySQL databases, which are the default type of database in ProcessMaker, and then of course to Oracle, which we will be showing you today, and then PostgreSQL databases and Microsoft SQL Server databases. And those are our next 2 upcoming webinars, and I'll show you the dates after the demo in the case you're interested in watching those webinars as well. And so all 4 of these database types can be queried with SQL, from ProcessMaker to autofill Dynaforms, to call information to use in triggers, and you can also send process data from ProcessMaker to these databases, also using SQL queries. And then in the case you aren't using those types of databases, ProcessMaker can also be connected to unsupported databases using PHP's database connections inside a trigger. And if you're interested in learning more about that or about any of our database connections, you can feel free to visit our wiki page on database connections to view any additional information. And so right before our demo, I just want to tell you that in our demo today, we're going to show you how to enable the Oracle option in the Database Connections panel. So the Create Database Connection window is displayed on this screen right now. And if you're already familiar with ProcessMaker, you'll know that the Oracle option does not automatically show up in the dropdown. So that's the first thing we're going to show you in our demo today, is how to enable database connections to Oracle. And then from there, we're going to connect a ProcessMaker to an Oracle database. Then we'll show you how to query data using SQL queries from an Oracle database to get data from a database table into your process, and then we'll also be showing you how to send data from ProcessMaker to an Oracle database. So now I think we are ready to get started with the demo, so can you please hold on just for a minute while we make the switch. And another thing I want to mention is feel free to submit your questions at any time. However, we'll be getting to questions after the demo.
Welcome to this demo. So today's demo is going to be about making integrations with Oracle. We are going to explain the installation, the uses, how to read data and how to write data actually. So we are going to combine all these functions to show you how Oracle integrates with ProcessMaker. Now, the process that you can see here is for entering student grades, okay? And then I'm going to read some information from my Oracle database, and then I'm going to send that information. So I want to point out that here I'm doing two types of tasks. I'm going to read information and then I'm going to write information, both things. But something that I would like to pose is that by default you are going to have MySQL database, okay? But I don't have anything there. All my information is in Oracle. So that comes to the idea that I need a connection. And the way that I'm going to use that connection is by clicking here, okay? And then create a new connection. By default, I have MySQL, okay? But for demo purposes, you can use Oracle. So I have prepared here this connection, and in this form, in this window, you have to enter all the details. Since you already know all the details for Oracle, you test the connection, and when everything goes fine, you can save it, and now you have a connection that is going to be identified by this number. This number is going to tell you what is the binding element between ProcessMaker and my Oracle server. I mean the Oracle database server. So, taking into account that, it seems to be that I need to move backwards. I need to know what is happening there. So I need to follow a sequence of steps, because this is going to come through a process of installation, of integration. So that's the part that I need to play a little with my server, okay? So I'm going to move here, and well, I need you to pay attention here, because for installing this Oracle database, you need to consider two elements. One, the packages that I'm going to download and install, and then I'm going to obtain a driver, and then I'm going to enable it as an extension of a file called php.ini. Okay, let's begin with the first part of the installation. It's going to be the packages that I'm going to show you. So for installing that, I'm going to show you here that you need to go to this. No, my excuses. You need to go to this, and let me show you. Okay, so it depends, obviously, it depends on your installation. So in this case, these packages that you can see here are the client Oracle packages that I need for integrating with Oracle. One is going to be basic and the other one is going to be Devel. These packages, if you visit our wiki page, you are going to see that we provide this link here and with this, in this link, you are going to be able to download both packages. So the Oracle Instant Client is critical for continuing with the installation of this integration. Okay, once you have downloaded both packages, you are going to find that here, I'm going to move backwards, I'm going to show you where are installed. Obviously, this depends on the installation that you have. And let me remember something that I didn't point out previously. This installation, I'm doing it, as you can see here, in CentOS. Okay, I'm showing you the structure of all of this integration, this installation in CentOS. Since both packages are downloaded, now you can see here that you have two files, the bin and the libraries. So when we unpack both files, okay, when we unpack basic and devel Oracle clients, we are going to have these two files, bin and libraries, and obviously these both of these folders are going to contain some files that are going to aid me to make my integration in Oracle. Okay, so that's the way that it works with the part of package installation and well, downloading and installing the packages basic and devel. After that, we need to go to move and install a driver, and I'm going to show you where is this driver. Okay, I'm going to move, oh, maybe I can move it directly here. I'm going to change to directory to show you here. Okay, I need to show you something, and this one is going to be a driver that I need, the OCI8.so. Okay, I mean, you can see here it's the only one that it's white colored, is the only one in this list. This driver is important because I need to enable in another file, and the file that I need for this purpose to enable this driver is this one. I'm going to move to another file here, and this one is here, etc. Okay, and well, I'm going to use Nano Text Editor. You can use BI also, is important in command line, you can use that one. Well, I'm going to enter to Nano, and well, I'm going to search for this extension. Okay, let me, it's at the bottom. Okay, here is the extension that I require. This extension was enabled, and you can see here, well, I'm going to read it literally. It says extension equal OCI8.so. It's not a comment, it's enabled, and it is enabled in the php.ini file. Okay, pay attention to that. And well, until now we have followed again, to make a summary of this installation. First the packages, then we move on to the driver and this enabling action here in php.ini. And when you have any problem you may have, okay, you're going to find in our resources of our wiki page some helpful tools, some helpful things that you can do. And one of the things that I recommend you is to display the errors on in this same page. I mean the PHP ini. So if you find, for instance, I'm going to search that part, is display errors. Okay. Okay, if you display the errors with on and everything, okay, in this file, you are going to see what is happening with your integration in Oracle. So that's something that it's a way that you can handle mistakes. You can start using all these conditions to know what is happening with this installation. Okay, summary. First of all, you have the Oracle client basic and devel packages, and then you unpack them. Then you have to download the driver OCI8 and enable it in php.in. Okay, you have other things like troubleshooting. Troubleshooting is the third part, where you need to show the errors, and you can see that in php.ini, in this file, we are going to have these conditions to see what is happening with your installation. Okay, now once your database is installed, okay, I'm going to exit from our nano database. Okay, let me show you. Okay, so I'm going to move right now to my server. Okay, so we have here the database, and we have now the conditions to set that. And I'm going to move here now to the users. For what I need this type of Oracle, or what you can do with Oracle integration databases. We have visited for a while our command line, everything goes correct. Now, in this task, I'm going to enter details for reporting grades. So if I move here to one of my Dynaforms, you are going to see that in both drop-downs, first of all, I have selected my database. In this case, is this Oracle XE. Okay, and from here, using some SQL statements that in some cases are going to have some dependency conditions, I'm going to populate the drop-downs, and there you have. You're going to have this type of work. Okay, so it means that I am reading from here, from this object, I'm reading this database and this other one. Okay, I'm reading both tables from Oracle. I'm going to close it. Then when that happens, now I'm going to move to the part. When that happens, it means that I can select and I can populate. So I read data from Oracle and I populated my drop-downs. In the second task, I need to write. I need to write in a database, in a table. So this is going to be executed by a trigger that I can have here, and you are going to be able to design your trigger. But the main thing that you have to remember is that this number is going to identify the connection that I have here, this database connection, this one. Okay, so it means that with this trigger I am enough, and I'm going to write in this table. It means this one. Okay, Okay, so given the conditions that you have here, it's time to run a case. I'm going to move to home here and start entering a new case, and I'm going to enter the name of someone, Claude Levi-Strauss with double S. The date is going to be 2 October, and based on some very accurate social research, we know that he studied anthropology. I'm going to submit. Okay, and after that it means that I have passed the part of reading Oracle. Now move forward, and here I want you to notice I'm going to enter the grades. By now this is the condition that I have here with this database, so I can enter something like structuralism with a score of 70, then post-structuralism, and finally cultural materialism. We have 80. Okay, I'm going to submit. I finish my process. I'm going to renew this, go to report score, open the data, and there you have. Now the records have been inserted in this table by the action of my trigger. So that's the way that I can use ProcessMaker. So it's not enough. I can go even forward. It means that I can obtain some report tables and then starting to work with that. So it's not restricted. It opens to more horizons. It opens you to be the manager of your data. Thanks for the demo. Thanks for your presence.
Okay, thank you, Pablo, for that wonderful demo. For the audience, feel free to submit your questions at this time. And while you guys are submitting your questions, I just want to tell you about our upcoming webinars. So in the case you're interested in learning how to connect ProcessMaker to a PostgreSQL database or a Microsoft SQL Server database, stay tuned for our webinars. The webinar with the PostgreSQL database is on Tuesday, October 23rd at 1 p.m. EST or New York time. And the webinar that describes how to connect to a Microsoft SQL Server database is on Wednesday, November 21st at 1 p.m. New York time or EST. So if you haven't already, please feel free to continue submitting your questions, and we will get to each of your questions in the order of their submission.
Well, I have received this question. It says, is it possible to use Oracle instead of MySQL during installation of ProcessMaker? MySQL is more than 12 gigas now. Is it responsible in future? Well, things that you have to remember is that we think more in the way of using the typical stack. It means that we combine MySQL, PHP, and the Apache server. Okay, so by default that is the database, and well, you can use Oracle as an addition of that. Now, if you try to avoid that step and using directly the installation of Oracle, you can try with that. Then there is no restriction of that. But you can get very well informed. Let me show you here something. If you visit one of our wiki pages, you are going to find about Oracle the information that you require. But we generally use the typical installation of the stack of Apache Server, PHP, and then MySQL. Okay. Abdul Rahman asks me, is there any reference document in Wiki? Well, I am showing you right now. This is the document, and also for Eldal Ayam, for both of them. This is the website. You can search everything about Oracle there. Okay. So, well, we have for both versions. One is for Windows, the other one is for CentOS Red Hat. So you can see the installations. They differ from the characteristics they have. I have a question, and it tells me, can you explain about Nginx? Is there better for configuration, and is it possible to use it with Oracle? Well, the configuration is going to be the same, but the driver that we use has to be for a lower version than PHP 7. Okay, that's something that you have to take into account. It's for lower versions um, than 7. Well, thanks for all. It has been a pleasure. Things that you have to remember is that you really require to installing the stack. The typical stack that we use, as I said, is Apache Server. Then you have MySQL and PHP. So Oracle is going to be as a kind of plus to our installation. Okay. Information you can see. I am showing you now the wiki page. So thanks for your attendance, and see you for the next webinar on Postgrad server. Okay, bye.